Hi, welcome back to Meerkat. Okay. Um, I had written like a whole ass script for this and it just got deleted. Thanks, Mercury retrograde. If you like hear disappointment and sadness in my voice, that's probably why. But yeah, that's just context for this video. Also, so I still haven't finished part 2 of the corridos video. Yikes. I've been really busy, and honestly, like for the next few months, like in September and October, I will be going to a lot of concerts. I will be going to a lot of concerts, which I'm excited about, but also like that does take away from like my sleep and also like just time that I have to like write and research for like the videos that I want to write about. But I'm not tripping. I'm having a lot of fun. All this to say that I will be making more videos about all the concerts that I go to and just critiquing, but also like just talking about like how good of a time that I had at all the concerts. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. Feel free to like or subscribe to my channel. Thank you to the 8 subscribers that I have. Thank you. Love you very much. It's funny because I didn't even know I was gonna go to this concert. It was kind of a surprise. My brother just like bought tickets and I guess his plans fell through. And he was like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I was like, "I mean, sure. I love this artist, so of course I want to go." And yeah, this is also like the first time that I've gone to a concert that was like an arena tour. And the first time going on VIP. I was so excited. I mean, it was like the lowest tier of VIP, so I got to go into the venue earlier than everybody else and also get a cute lanyard. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, whose concert I went to Peso Pluma. Yeah, I saw Peso Pluma live for his Exodo tour and at the SAP Center in San Jose. And honestly, going to this concert was like very refreshing and I just had a lot of fun. Like the way that he performed, honestly, it felt to me like award show performance worthy. Like I was like, wow, this is like a lot of theatrics, lots of lights, and it felt like a lot of detail was put into this whole tour. And it just made me realize like, wow, Peso Pluma really like takes his craft and artwork seriously. It just made me respect Peso Pluma a lot more than I already do. A little bit about Peso Pluma. Peso Pluma has had a meteoric rise to popularity, spreading the Mexican sound of the corrido globally. I will say he is controversial because his music talks about narco culture, and a lot of people criticize his music as glorifying narco violence. But in my opinion, it's just nice to see how the corrido culture and the corrido genre has evolved over time and how he's innovated to create a new sound for his generation. Peso Pluma started the concert kind of late. It was like 9:45 and I'm in my late 20s, so usually I go to bed at like 10 p.m. And I was so tired, dude. I was so tired. I know, leave your hate in the comments. But he started the concert himself, which I was surprised about because a lot of artists, when they have arena tours, even though I haven't been to an arena tour, I would imagine that they have openers. But he did not have an opener. He started the concert himself. And the way that he started the concert, it was with the most dramatic music, like movie-esque music soundtrack type of stuff. And I was like, oh my god, he's so dramatic. Because it was very like doom, 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 like type of music. Yeah, he's so dramatic. And I do have to wonder if he has like some kind of Leo or like Virgo placements, because like just the amount of detail that was put into the start and the whole concert, I was like, this is one, dramatic, and two, very detail oriented. Yeah, I was just very in awe when it started. So he started off the whole concert with the song La Durango, which is also the first song of the Exodo album, which I thought was fitting because it's the first song in the album. And he first had the band walk onto the stage while the platform that he was on just rose up to the stage, and he was sitting on this like throne. He sat on the throne and then he walked onto the stage, and all throughout the stage there were white lights that were just shooting straight up. It was shooting straight up, and it almost looked like the whole stage was like kind of sort of like a cage. So kind of it was him and the band separating the whole audience. And as he started the song, the lights slowly went this way, kind of like opened up to, and I felt like it symbolized like he was letting in the crowd into like his world, Peso Pluma's world. Yeah, after that song, he performed the song AMG and then Rubicon. Seeing Rubicon live was insane because I love this song, and me and my brother have like sang this song in the car so many times. The whole crowd was singing so loudly, and next he played like two songs that I wasn't entirely familiar with, but they were bangers nonetheless. When he came, yeah, so he played two songs and then he took a little break to kind of like change scenery in the stage. He came back, he performed Luna, which is one of my favorite songs. This performance felt so magical because there was this big drone that was in the shape of a moon that was like lit up, and it just rose up onto the stage and went into the crowd and just like circulated the whole arena. And it was honestly so beautiful, and it had like romantic lighting, so it just like had the perfect ambiance for the song Luna, which is also a very romantic song. And this was my favorite performance, if I'm gonna be honest, because I love the song and I really love the attention to detail that came to the performance of the song. He performed Ella Baila Sola, which the whole crowd also sang. Yeah, I will say, like, in the beginning of the concert, it was a full stadium, but there was like a few empty seats. And I do have to wonder whether it was like POC time, because afterwards, like, you would just see like people coming in, like they were still coming in even after the concert started. So I want to say that they just like came a little late, but the whole arena was pretty full. So you could hear the whole audience just singing the song. Yeah, and he was performing, he was dancing on stage, he was lit. And it helped too that he had a lot of background dancers. The background dancers really created like even more hype, like kind of like amplified the hype around the song, because they brought like a lot of energy like during the whole concert. He then transitioned into from corridos to reggaeton songs, because he does have a couple songs where he sings reggaeton. And he performed Mala, Culona, and La Bebe remix. To me, this was hilarious because during these three performances, he brought out female backup dancers that were like doing the most like sexual and scandalous like dances and poses, and he was just sitting there like, he looked awkward. He looked uncomfortable, and yeah. And I don't know if he was just there not doing anything because he actually felt uncomfortable, or also like because he did mention like earlier in the concert that his girlfriend was in the crowd, so I don't know if like maybe she's a little bit celosa and like he didn't want to make his girlfriend jealous, or anything like that. But it was just a little weird because, like, he was not fitting the vibe of the song at all. Um, yeah, he just looked a little bit uncomfortable. And he, after these reggaeton songs, he mentioned that after these reggaeton songs, he mentioned that he had a special guest, and guess who he brought out? Y'all, I was so happy. He brought out Too Short, and it was amazing to see because it was a nice touch because Too Short is from the Bay Area, so just the fact that he brought him out, um, I was like, oh my god. Yeah, so Too Short came out and he played Back That Ass Up, and he played Blow the Whistle, which I was like, blow the whistle. Yeah, I was going crazy. Like, just yelling the lyric. I was losing my mind. um After that small break, the concert took a slower turn where he kind of regathered his band and played Nueva Vida, and the whole crowd was just singing the song. Like, it was special to see because I do feel like this song has a lot of meaning to him, like where he's like, because he's gotten a lot of fame, like it's almost like he's living a whole new life that he could have never imagined. So I think it's a very touching song, and whenever he performs it at arenas, like he gets super emotional because once he was done performing the song, like he paused and he looked like, to me, it looked like he was about to cry. Like he was just very emotional and overwhelmed, which kind of reminded me because, like, on TikTok there was a video of him performing in LA, and immediately after that song, he comes down from the stage and just thanks his mom, like hugs his mom and thanks his mom for like all the support that she's given him. And it kind of reminded me like of that, like, and I just thought it was like a very touching moment, and that moment where he just paused and everybody cheered for him, like, just gives me chills right now, like just thinking back on it, because it was like, wow, like he really made it big. And like, I don't know, like just imagine like how much his life has changed in the last few years, like to realize that like your wildest dreams are coming true and unfolding before you must be like a crazy experience. So it was, I don't know, I found it very admirable that he stopped and just like was so humbled by like everybody's support, and it gave me like a whole sense of respect towards him and his craft. He performed Rosa Pastel, and it was kind of funny because like he had like pink lights, which like fits the song, because he's talking about like 2C, and I think like the 2C powder is like pink, which, okay, he's talking about drugs. And I also sing song because this is also like one of my favorite songs, along with my brother's favorite. Then he sang another song, which I didn't know about. Still pretty lit, but he paused the concert to smoke a joint, and I was laughing because he was just like, he had this whole little speech where he was like, yeah, smoking weed. And it was just kind of hilarious. Yeah, immediately after that he sang the song Carnal, and it was a bit funny because as he's starting to sing the song right after smoking a joint, his voice was so hoarse. Like, you could tell in his voice that his voice was really dry because of the joint. And so like the performance was a little rough, but it was still very comedic because like I think there's like a part of the song where it talks about like lighting a joint, and mid-concert he's just like smoking it up. He took out the Mexican flag and just wrapped it around his body and proceeded to sing PRC. And this was like a performance that I also found to be very touching, because as he's singing PRC, like on the Jumbotron, it just had pictures and lists of names, like just going through the Jumbotron. And one of the names was Lino Sanchez, Jenny Rivera, Ramon Ayala, and a whole bunch of other names. And it just made me realize that he was like honoring like legendary artists that have come before him, and just kind of like opened doors and paved the path for him to make music, and also like artists that have like inspired him and his sound. So yeah, to me, I felt like for him to like honor all these artists was very admirable, but also like, dang, like you really are for the culture, for like the Mexican culture. So it just made me, it was a very touching moment. I was very prideful. I felt a lot of pride. And to me, it also showed like for you to have respect towards like a genre, and also like the humbleness for you to honor artists that have come before you. It was very admirable. El Gavilan was next. He had dancers on the stage, and the stage was filled with like red beams that kind of looked like lasers. To me, it resembled like the lasers that you would see on like a sniper. And I thought this was fitting because the song is talking about El Chapito and Chapo Guzman, and you know, because narcos and guns. After this was crazy. After this, it was crazy because I wasn't expecting this moment, but like he went on a whole rant about the SAP owner and how he felt disrespected, because like I guess like when he came into the venue, he met the SAP owner or whoever like manages it, and the owner just kind of like gave him a look, and he just felt so disrespected. Me hizo unas caras como que hijo de su puta madre, a ver qué le debo a este cabrón. ¿Y saben qué? Un mexicano siempre se va a respetar a la verga donde quiera que esté. Así que donde quiera que estés, hijo de tu puta madre, te llené el lugar y te llené de billetes de puta bolsa. ¡Ay, no, viejo! ¡Esto se llama just open. My jaw was on the floor. Like I was like, I can't believe he's saying this. Yeah, and also yikes, because I don't know, to me it made me happy that he spoke up on like how he felt if this is like injustice, because like I feel like a lot of older generations, like when it comes to like racial stuff like that, a lot of older generations are like, oh, just like turn the other cheek, show them like in other ways that like you're so much better than that. But like it kind of also shows like how like the newer generation is kind of like, no, we're not gonna stand for that, like you're not gonna like play in my face. And it's interesting to see like the differences in generations. After he went on his little rant, he performed Gavilan Dos. And this song made me and my brother go crazy singing it, because it's also one of like our favorite songs. It's just a very like hyped up song. Like, yes, it's talking about narco stuff, but like the beat just goes crazy. Then after that, he sang Zapata, and then he took another break to allow for the stage to be set up again. So for this one, the stage props that he used were very interesting. He brought out like a big, long dining table and a chair, a big wooden chair. And this dining table kind of like, to me, resembled like kind of like the Jesus, like an apostles, like dinner table. I don't know if that's what he was going for or what he was going for, but it was interesting to see. And then immediately after, like, they set it up the props, like, he sang La People, and jumped on the table and performed. Then after he's done singing that, he brought up a violinist to just, like, have a solo. That was crazy. Like, the whole violin performance, like, really, I feel like adds to the dramatics, because, like, you wouldn't expect, like, classical music to be mixed with like corridos. And I just thought it was a very interesting choice, because, like, it kind of shows, like, like, no, this is, like, royalty, like, worthy. Yeah, I just, the violinist, like, really performed her soul, like, on that stage. So I really loved it. And it kind of, like, made the next song, La People 2, like, go so much harder, like, be so much more, like, dramatic, have a more dramatic impact. After that, he performed El Azul, and it was fitting that the stage turned blue. But what was interesting was, like, the backup dancers just kind of, like, all laid on the floor. Not on the floor. They laid on the table, and kind of, like, it resembled as if, like, they were dead on the table, and Peso Pluma was, like, sitting on the table next to, like, a bunch of, like, dead dancers. And I guess that's an interesting choice, because I didn't know this, but El Azul is also about El Chapo Guzman. Yeah, so after that, they then performed Lady Gaga, which is also one of his most popular songs, and then ended the show with Teca, short for discoteca. Teca is not, like, my favorite song to end the concert. I personally, I mean, it's okay. He's playing this, like, EDM-ish song. He just, like, had a bunch of colorful lights, kind of like a rave, almost resembling a rave, and then he, like, made the whole arena rain confetti. So that was, like, a nice touch. I thought that was, like, a very, very good ending, and very dramatic ending. Yeah, and then he left the stage and then immediately played They Not Like Us. Which I thought was also funny, because it was like, dang, he really has, like, a pulse on, like, what's going on in pop culture. So that was a concert. I loved every minute of it, even, like, for the songs that I wasn't really familiar with. And I think the whole concert made me have more of an appreciation for Peso Pluma. And, like, I still liked him, but, like, it just made me appreciate him more for, like, the great performance that he put on, and such an intense amount of detail that he put onto the concert. Yeah, I was just very in awe, like, all throughout the concert, and I'm really grateful that I went, because, like, I've always wanted to see him live, but also, like, if I'm gonna be honest, he's the inspiration of, like, the corrido series that I started on this channel, because, like, he's kind of made corridos mainstream, but also, like, he's highlights how different the current corridos are, and, like, how much of a stark difference there is from the corridos of nowadays to the corridos from back when my parents were in their youth. And he's just been a very inspirational person to me, and my love for music. Honestly, okay, now talking all about the merch. Honestly, I didn't buy the merch because it was fucking ugly. I'm sorry. I did see a couple of girls that had these, like, baseball tees that were almost like dresses, and those were cute, and it had, like, an autograph of Peso Pluma. Those were cute, and I don't know where they bought them. but I wanted one of those. But they weren't selling that at the concert. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like his merch, so I didn't get anything. Um, but I do hope that his merch gets a little bit cuter, or maybe it's just not my vibe. Maybe it's just not my vibe. But overall, 10 out of 10. I love the performance, and the performance really made me proud to be Mexican and happy for his success. Um, yeah, the only thing I have from the concert is like the VIP thing. It's very cute, very nice touch. I will keep this with me in my room. Anyways, that's all I have, and I hope you have a good day and listen to a lot of great music today. Bye.